Channel Sports Central, we're going over a huge ACC matchup coming up in week number 6, and that's going to be between Virginia Tech and North Carolina. Both these teams are 2-0 heading into this matchup. Both teams are undefeated, and North Carolina on one hand is actually ranked 8th in the nation right now. That's the highest they've been ranked in a really long time for college football, so there's a lot of pressure for North Carolina right now, and this is going to be a huge matchup for both these teams. Obviously, on the Virginia Tech side, they're sitting at 2-0 as well, and they're kind of on the outside, and this could be a huge win, especially considering how North Carolina is considered right now as good of a team as they are with Sam Howell at quarterback. Yeah, this is going to be a very important game for both these teams, and we're going over it here today. Starting out with your team trends. Last game, Virginia Tech beat Duke 30-31, and that was last week, so that was a good win overall. I mean, it was a win by only a touchdown, and Duke isn't really all that good this season, but still a win's a win. Same thing with North Carolina. They beat Boston College 26-22 in a close matchup, but once again, any win in the ACC is really one that is good. And obviously for the winning streaks for both these teams, they're sitting at 2-0 each, so 2-game winning streaks for each of these teams. Virginia Tech is currently ranked 19th in the nation. Meanwhile, North Carolina jumped up into the top 10 this previous week as they're sitting at number 8 right now. Games going on Saturday, October 10th, noon Eastern in Chapel Hill, so North Carolina will be the home team for this matchup. Spread currently has North Carolina by 5.5. The ESPN FPI actually disagrees with this, going with Virginia Tech 53%. And that's kind of a rare occasion where the spread and the ESPN FPI do not agree, which usually you'll see the spread and the FPI agree like 9 times out of 10 easily. And it's kind of a weird scenario here because you got Virginia Tech that is actually favored by the ESPN FPI here, so something interesting to note. Vegas prediction has got a 5-point win for North Carolina, 39-34 being your final score. So obviously we got 2 of our sources going towards North Carolina. Meanwhile, one of them in the ESPN FPI is going towards Virginia Tech here in this matchup, which honestly that is very accurate in my opinion. I think both these teams have pretty much equally a good chance to win this matchup. Both teams are very talented, and both teams have their bright sides for sure. And I think both teams in general have got good chances to put up some big numbers and some big wins this season. Here's your side comparison, of course, for Virginia Tech. You got Braxton Burmeister at quarterback, who, really he hasn't had all that great of a start to his season. He was 9 for 25 in his previous game, 163 yards, touchdown and an interception to go along with that. So his completion rate was really not very good. He did have 9 completions, but out of 25, is a little bit concerning for me. He did put up 163 yards though, so it's not terrible, but yeah, he's definitely got to improve if Virginia Tech's going to be a national contender this season. As for the running back core, that's really where Virginia Tech shines. They got Khalil Herbert, which is, he's obviously one of the best running backs in the ACC. 20 attempts, 208 yards, and 2 touchdowns. He's definitely the MVP on that team right now. They also have Raheem Blackshear. Don't forget about him. 13 attempts for 47 yards is what he had in their win against Duke. You also have Tavion Robinson, 2 receptions for 85 yards. And then Trey Turner was their second receiver, 3 receptions for 47 yards. On the North Carolina side, you got Sam Howell, which is easily one of the most underrated quarterbacks, I would say, in all of college football. No one really ever talks about him, which I think is really stunning to me. If you look at him last season, he put up some insane numbers for being a true freshman. And this season, he has thrown a couple of interceptions, but still he's still off to a decent start. 14 for 26 is what he was in their game against Boston College last week, 225 yards and a touchdown as well. You also have Michael Carter, 16 attempts, 121 yards. Javonte Williams, 11 attempts for 57 yards and a touchdown. You also had Dyami Brown, top receiver, 4 receptions for 60 yards. Then lastly, Javonte Williams was also a leader in receiving last week, 2 receptions, 56 yards, and a touchdown as well. So Javonte Williams all around had 2 touchdowns for this team last week, along with a full 100 yards. So yeah, he had a really good game there against Boston College last week. As for the games that both these teams have played so far, once again, Virginia Tech played Duke last week, and they ended up getting the win there 30-31. And they also beat NC State 45-24 was your final score there, which, if you look on the North Carolina side, it's been a really weird schedule for them so far. They had September 12th, a game against Syracuse, which they won 31-6. But then they had a 3-week break before playing their second game against Boston College, which is just really odd. Usually you'll never see that out of a college football schedule, which obviously this season is nothing in the ordinary by any means. But yeah, a 3-week break before playing Boston College, something interesting there. They did get the win though, 26-22 in the end. So both teams once again are off to 2-0 starts. Some key points for this one. North Carolina has easily been one of the main surprise teams of the nation so far, obviously being ranked in the top 10 and ranked number 8 for that matter. Yeah, North Carolina's got a lot of big expectations right now. And really, this ACC conference in general this season has been really good. I think you've got 4 ACC teams in the top 10 right now, including Clemson, Notre Dame, North Carolina, and Miami. So the ACC is actually a good conference this season. They've been playing very well so far. So yeah, watch out for the ACC. I'd consider them to probably be better than the Big 12 and the Pac-12 so far this season. Watch out for the ACC conference. You got 4 really good teams in there. But yeah, Burmeister, the quarterback for Virginia Tech, needs to have a huge game here if Virginia Tech's going to have the win. I mean, once again, he was 9 for 25 last week. That is not something that needs to happen if Virginia Tech's going to win. Like, he's definitely got to have a much better completion rate. He's got to throw no interceptions. I mean, the interceptions are always something that is poison to a team winning. I mean, you can't win games when you're throwing interceptions, so that's going to be very important for him as well, which I definitely think it's possible that he does have a great game. I mean, once again, it's still very early on in the season, and after you have a couple of games of experience under your belt, usually there's a big difference there. But I expect a higher scoring game here between both these teams. I mean, you got 2 really good offenses here, 2 really good running backs. You got Sam Howell on the North Carolina side, and I mean, all around, both offenses are great here. I think we do see a high scoring game between both of these teams. I think it's going to be more of a shootout, and we're going to see both these teams go back and forth, I think, quite a bit. This is probably going to be one of your best games of the week for sure. I mean, you got, once again, 2 pretty evenly matched teams. North Carolina on one hand has got a ton of pressure in this one, I think. I mean, if you look at North Carolina, this is a team that really hasn't been ranked that high in a really long time. It's been as long as I can remember, really. And, I mean, if you look at them right now, currently ranked 8th, I mean, there's a lot of expectation for them right now, so this is going to be a high-pressure game for them. But as for Virginia Tech, I mean, once again, I'm sure Virginia Tech's going to be highly motivated in this game. So I could easily see the result being between both of these teams. I mean, I could easily see either team winning this one. But in the end, I've got North Carolina getting the win here. I think North Carolina does pull it out in the end, but I think it is going to be an extremely close game. Your halftime score, 20-17, North Carolina will lead by 3, and in the final, it's going to be 34-27. North Carolina wins it by a touchdown, and it's going to be really close. Once again, I think easily, like Virginia Tech, they've got just as good of a shot to win this game as North Carolina. I mean, the main reason why I've got North Carolina here is because of Sam Howell for 1, and then for 2, they've also got Virginia Tech at home. So that's going to be really big for North Carolina in the end. But I do think we do see the Tar Heels get the win here in the end, and it's going to be a huge win for North Carolina. This is a huge resume builder, considering Virginia Tech is a top 20 team in the nation right now as far as the rankings are concerned. So once again, big matchup here in the ACC, big matchup between both these teams. It's going to be a fun one for sure. But let me know your thoughts in the comments below on this game. Let me know your score predictions, team predictions, etc. I'd like to hear your thoughts on this one. But then again, thanks again for watching. Stay tuned for more from All Sports Central. If you enjoyed this preview, be sure to slap a like on it, subscribe as well. Really helps out the channel. I'd really appreciate that. But as always, thanks again for watching. Stay tuned for more. I'll see you all later.